Alright, hi everybody, welcome to the episode 5 of the Super Media Gaming Podcast. We are recording this on Sunday, December 9th. I am the host with the most. Not Josh. Today I have to my right, Andy HG.
Hey.
Hey. Mr. Too Elusive.
You know it.
And Sir Helios.
Hi.
Waving doesn't work on an audio podcast, my dude. All right. Let's jump right into it because we have a lot to talk about. We can start with what we've been playing recently. I'll kick us off. I've been playing a little bit of the new Tomb Raider game. It's just like the older Tomb Raider games. It's super fun. And I've been playing Pokemon Crystal Clear, which is a hack of Pokemon Crystal that you can choose your sprite and your starting Pokemon from like a list of like 10, and you can choose whether you want to start in Johto or Kanto. And a lot of the map restrictions are taken out, so you can kind of explore the region as you wish. It's pretty cool. All of the gym leaders scale to how many badges you have.
Oh, I need to try that out.
Yeah, I can try to find the. I'm gonna try to link the hack in the description.
Hopefully Nintendo don't take it down.
What about you guys?
Is that just one quick question?
Mm-hmm.
That hack in particular, is it running off of the Game Boy hack or is it an advanced game?
It's a Game Boy Color. It's Crystal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a hack of Crystal.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Anyway, Andy, you're up.
I've been playing Smash Ultimate.
The one thing you told us not to say.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about Smash
Not gonna
Ultimate
lie.
for the second half of the podcast is gonna be entirely Smash Ultimate. So, is there anything else you've been playing or?
Not really. No.
Okay. His Katamari reroll just came out. I'm looking to pick that up because it's just a remaster of Damacy, but on the Switch, and I love Katamari. So, what about you guys?
So, I've been playing PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. It's like, nah, I'm just playing. The actual game I've been playing lately is Cave Story on the Switch. And remembering just how fun and how hard that game can really get. But the music's still very kick-ass.
That's all, absolutely. Cave Story is probably my favorite game.
As far as the games I've been playing, I know I played more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just because I remember playing that a lot. And I've been re-looking through my visual novel library because I have so many visual novels backlogged. All those hours of reading.
Have you read Narcissu yet?
I don't think I have.
It's amazing.
Can you get it?
I have it on Steam.
No. I'll probably get it for free somewhere else.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's a free version available. The one on Steam is just like a remake or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean, I might give it a shot just to add more to the backlog.
Really good.
But yeah, that's basically all I've been playing.
Yeah. So let's jump into a couple of our topics. We've got some news to talk about. The Nintendo YouTube policy.
Yes, I've rejoiced about that ever since it dropped. Now, granted, I'm not at a point where any of that would really matter. But even with me being a super small channel, I remember the time when I used just a little clip that had a soundtrack from The Legend of Zelda, and I was copyright strike for it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just like, I would say like maybe a 3 to 5 minute loop of one of the boss themes I played for just a joke.
Yeah.
And I got copyright striked.
Yeah.
Like, feels bad.
I know a lot of people are super excited to hear about the YouTube policy change.
Yes, we can now actually play Mario without having to worry about your video being striked because, it's got Nintendo's product on there.
Yeah, they had their own separate, like, Nintendo Creators thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really weird.
The requirement was that you can only upload Nintendo content all the time. You can't upload anything else. And they get a portion of what your actual earnings are.
Yeah.
So it really did hurt a lot of creators who was very Nintendo reliant. I know Chaga Conroy was one of them, Nintendo Capri Sun is another that was greatly affected by it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how those two managed to get by with that content creator program.
It's just like them taking a cut of the earnings. That's kills it so much.
That's exactly what it was.
So.
I remember when Angry Joe had that happen. He swore off Nintendo games on his channel for a very long time. It wasn't until Breath of the Wild he reviewed another game.
But that got copyright strike too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Thankfully
circle.
with that one they were able to bring it back because people basically vouched for him. It's like, come on, man, stop being dicks about it.
Exactly.
Right,
and what's really amusing is that it's Nintendo of Japan that made these decisions.
It doesn't make a lot of sense either, to try to take down a review because it has copyrighted material in it. Of course it has copyrighted material on it. I'm playing the game so that I can review it, right? I'm talking about the game that you put out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure his review said that it was great.
Yeah, he said it was great. And they still copyright.
Personal opinion aside, that's just ridiculous. And he was praising the game and it still got taken down.
Yeah.
So it's good news all around to hear that they're walking that policy back.
Well, personally, it never really affected me because, one, I'm not a big crybaby like Angry Joe is. So, I would still post stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they're taking a portion of it, as long as my content still remains up. Yeah. And then again, I don't profit off of my videos at all. Okay. That's what Patreon's for. But yeah, it's good that now people feel more encouraged, or feeling more encouraged to post stuff now.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't care, they're not going to tell me which way to whiz, so I'm just going to post it regardless.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get taken down, right?
It's like I made a joke about the new Nintendo 2DS XL, last year. Never got taken down. It shows up on my feed that it has Nintendo stuff in it, but it never was taken down, and people are able to watch it like normal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we can do. Before we get into another one of our big topics, we can talk about the conventions that happened over the past week. So we didn't have an episode last week because I was at PAX Unplugged, which was super duper fun. I got to meet a couple of guys from Loading Ready Run, which is a channel that I really like. They do a lot of stuff on Twitch and VODs on YouTube, and they used to make a lot of sketches and stuff. So that was really cool. Plus, it was just 3 days of board games in Center City, Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So it was spitting distance from Chinatown. So ate good for dinner every night. So overall, that was super fun. And today, the day of recording, Andy and I were at Gifts for Gamers, which is a charity event put on by the guys who do Too Many Games.
Yep.
So that was super duper fun. Andy, tell us some of the stuff because you got a bunch of pickups there too, right?
I did have a couple pickups. I don't know if you want to film this, but
I can just later.
Well, one of the things I really liked that I picked up was a Espeon style Mimikyu, which strangely only went for $15 for some reason. I would expect it to go for $30 or something, but a good price is a good price. And also, excuse me.
This cool bag!
Well, no, I got that from the Nintendo event. So, the first thing I found was X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
Oh,
unfortunately, it's not in the original case that it came with. But, to get a game that is really fun, I don't mind getting it this way.
Bro, wait, let me see that disc.
It's the Sega Saturn version.
Oh my lordy.
Which unfortunately only came out in Japan. And it's a really fun game. Johnny would agree with me. And Budokai 3, which is a game I've always had, but I don't have a working copy anymore, so I bought it again.
Wait, you don't have the PlayStation 3 remake? HD remake?
Well, I said a working copy of
specifically PlayStation
that one,
2.
yeah.
For PS2.
See, the reason I keep my PS2 version the soundtrack in the PS2 version is
Because
good, even though a lot of it's plagiarized.
it's good plagiarism.
Wait. The PS3 remake got some of that cut?
No,
The
everything
music
that
got
was
changed.
the music from 2, 3, the 3 HD remake booted out.
Ouch.
Nothing.
Which is
is
probably
left from
why
the
2
originals.
isn't even on there.
Ouch.
And I
All
also
music from the Japanese version instead.
Well, I mean, if
Which,
they
I mean, it's
plagiarize,
not-
if they plagiarize the music,
It's
then
not
I mean,
bad. It's not bad music, but I still prefer the PlayStation 2 version.
And on the Super Nintendo, I got Captain America and the Avengers. I mean, I don't get why Captain America is so full of himself that he's above the Avengers. It's like he's Sting in the Police or something. I don't
The
know.
Avengers is just another Captain America chapter.
And found it for only $10, strangely, because I see this game go for about $20 elsewhere. And since I'm getting into the Dragon Ball Super card game, I picked up the Resurrected Fusion deck, which is for Gogeta.
That
Don't want to
actually
say
looks
certain
really hot.
details here because, anyway. And I have a couple of Nintendo Powers.
Just a few of them.
Just a few. One talking about, EK from Path of Radiance. The Virtual Boy,
The best system in the entire world.
the only thing that's slightly better than it is the PlayStation Classic.
Oof. Well, I can't wait to talk
And-
about that.
A Star Tropics themed Nintendo Power, which one of my favorite games.
And it was written on.
Yes, it was.
These are
Just to remind them, I was like,
February '91.
where's that? Yeah,
Wait, is that
Yeah, that's-
91 or
I was like a
97?
baby.
91, because I don't see a line.
No, it's
in the
94.
it looks like a 94, but it's a 91 because the other ones.
I was going to say,
Wow.
if you can't tell, look at the issue it was stated. Oh, no, never mind. It's not there. See, I see
Yeah,
91s
February 91.
everywhere.
Yeah, it just says 91
Wait,
like
hold
3
up.
times.
I was
Look
In
at the
permanent
backside.
marker.
I'm sorry, I would be a little tilted at
well,
that.
someone in
That's
Westchester. Well, it was sent to someone in Westchester.
Whatever volume 21 of Nintendo Power, whenever that came out.
See, usually in the issue code, in the issue volume,
Yeah,
it should
yeah,
say,
it should say-
like, what month and year. I'm not expecting, like, specific dates, but at least, like, month and a year.
Oh, you even got the Lost Levels for
Yeah, this was something I needed for an upcoming video on my channel. So I was glad to pick that up.
Yeah.
And I also got one detailing about Felix the Cat, the video game, which surprisingly is really good.
I didn't even know
we
he had a
have
game.
confirmation
He did.
it is the 1991 version.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
issue from 1991 because it's what it says on the inside cover. It just had to do a little digging.
I was a baby.
And then they just wrote all over the front cover because they
To
couldn't
remind you when
remember.
it came out. But yeah, you said you couldn't wait to talk about that. We can just kind of leapfrog right into talking about the PlayStation 1 Classic.
But overall, Gift for Gamers,
Yeah,
while we didn't stay too long, it was fun from the time I had it.
Yeah.
It was good.
I got
digging
there
up.
at about when they opened, which is about noon, and we stayed until 3.
Oh,
Which, it's a small event
Yeah.
compared to too many games, but it's what I expected it to be.
It was just a mini
Oh.
too many games, which is totally cool.
And it was good catching up with people I haven't seen in a while.
the fact
Greg.
that you're not defending this time around, you're actually just an actual spectator.
Yeah.
Actually attending.
It was good seeing good friends like Marshall, Ian, Adam and Nina, Johnny, Greg, and of course Elliot and Matt. It was really cool seeing people again and being able to just chat with them for a little bit.
Instead of having to work.
Yeah, in a way, but hopefully there'll be more to talk about when Too Many Games runs around. But overall, it's a fun event, especially for charity.
Mhm.
If you didn't go this year, go next year. Too many games.
I like regular too many games, so too many games for just one day that's only a couple hours long. Bite-sized too many games. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's like
You can
it
get some
just,
good
it
deals.
sounds like
Yeah, there's some good deals there too.
it definitely sounds like an event where it's like if you're still skeptical about too many games, then just go
Yeah.
to that one.
It's the
which is a
fun.
small
It's the
part of
fun
it.
size ones you get. It's the fun size candies you get from trick or treating.
Yeah.
It's like in case you don't know what Snickers or Crunch Bar
I've
tastes
never
like.
had a Milky Way in my life.
So
Is that true?
yeah,
No,
it's
I've
basic.
had Milky Ways.
So it's basically a way to test the grounds before you actually
Go for
invest.
the whole bite.
And we'll be there. And we'll be there at the actual Ultimate game.
Yeah,
so
we'll be
see
there
us
too many games
It's
definitely.
become tradition at this point.
But yeah, we can let's jump into talking about the PlayStation 1 Classic, which is not something I had in my notes, but that's definitely something I wanted to talk about. So
Yeah.
we did have our episode talking about the Classic 3 weeks ago. It was two or three episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the Classic and its lineup and what we liked and didn't like. And it turns out that is real hackable.
Yeah.
They found out that if you own a PlayStation 1 Classic, Sony didn't actually put any of their own programming onto it. It's literally just a Raspberry Pi running a emulator they ripped off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you plug a USB keyboard, like a Logitech USB keyboard, into the PlayStation Classic and hit escape, you can bring up the emulator menu and you can mess with all the settings. So like one of the things that people didn't like about the Classic was it was running everything in the PAL style instead of NTSC, which was kind of ruining the frame rate and kind of wrecking a lot of the games. But you can just change that if you just plug in a USB keyboard and change the settings for yourself.
My problem though is that seems like a giant oversight. Like they didn't let anyone know about that at all.
Well,
And they're
it's,
selling this thing for $100.
$100.
well, first of all, that should have been accessible from the menu right out of the gate
Right,
because it's proper basic emulation stuff.
And two, why is the PAL format the default?
We didn't have the PAL format. We only had the NSTC.
Yeah.
NTSC, yeah.
NTSC.
But the PAL format is like what they use in Europe, but that's also like it makes all of the ROMs run way choppy and laggy.
Mhm.
So just going into the emulator settings with a keyboard you plugged into the Classic and changing it to NTSC fixes a whole lot of the problems.
Mhm.
And on top of that, because you can access the emulator directly, you can just put your own ROMs onto it. So like with the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, there was at least there was enough of Nintendo's own hardware, like firmware, there that you had to actually hack it. You have to jailbreak the kernel, and you have to do a bunch of like pretty nitty gritty stuff with like SD cards to kind of jailbreak it, so you can put your own ROMs on it.
But
The PlayStation 1 Classic, nah, just throw your own stuff on there. That's fine.
you could also tell that this was definitely rushed for holiday release because another thing that people discovered were several games that were supposed to be included on there, but they didn't have enough time to put that on. So you just see like their data and whatnot, but you can't launch them.
Mhm.
And I know some of the games off the top of my head was definitely Crash 1 and 2, Mega Man Legends, Tomba, the first
Mega Man
Klonoa.
Legends would have been so good.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they also had the old Tomb Raider, and I'm almost
Yeah,
they
fairly
did.
certain
They
they
did.
had Castlevania Symphony of the Night in there too.
So the
I need
problem,
to confirm that actually,
I'm
but
pretty sure I saw the code
it-
name for it,
it's-
or a file that was named Symphony of the
It's
Night.
like I was
Wow.
like heavily on the fence about it, but it just seems like there's just so many oversights and just plain
yeah.
incompetence,
And-
going on with this.
the fighting game Ingrids
Mm-hmm.
from Square, that was also on there too.
Oh,
That was
to be
also
completely honest with you, since I didn't grow up with the PlayStation 1 at all, I have no idea what game that is.
That was a fighting game that Square developed that also featured characters from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
It was alright.
Okay, never mind.
That sounds like Kingdom Hearts.
And it was also supposed to be included in that too,
You
but
mean
they
Dissidia?
didn't have
Yeah,
that.
Dissidia, I guess.
Yeah, it was the City of Beta.
It's
Um,
Alpha Dissidia.
but yeah, it just feels like as you say, it just felt like there was this. They obviously were trying to make a quick buck off of this.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I can definitely agree that it was definitely it's not a quality product, but at the same time, I can still take enough advantage of really terrible quality product to at least make it my own.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is why it's like it balanced itself out. Yeah, it's terrible, but it's so terrible you yourself can easily make it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think a product shouldn't be that though.
It really
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Well,
That's the
if I see one on sale for less than $80, I am definitely picking it up because I have the ability to just throw my own games on there.
of course.
Yes, it didn't come out like that good or that like good quality or just programmed really horribly, but at the same time, when you're trying to also make that argument of if it was better quality, like if they had better games or if they were actually in the right format instead of the
If they were running in,
format.
if they were running in the right format.
I actually have to take effort in hacking it now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they put effort into it, it's a different story, because then I can be like, oh yeah, you're charging $100 for it. I know that back when we talked about the classic itself, I said that I didn't have an issue with the lineup as much as you guys did, and like, so like, there's that, right? I don't have a problem with the lineup. It's well programmed. It's not running in a terrible format that lags the system out, right? Like, that's $100 worth. But the way that it stands, it's not $100 worth. And if it's you get pay less than $100 for it, just get PlayStation 1 ROMs.
The bottom line here is, if you're going to produce a product like this, it shouldn't take a...
It shouldn't take a consumer to fix your product.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Which,
that's a very good way of putting it.
I heard a certain company likes doing, it just works, dude.
It does just work. We can talk about Fallout 76.
This was
but
this is definitely a low point for Sony, without a doubt.
all right.
Because they just, as I said, it's something that could have been as cool as the NES or the Super Nintendo Classic, but yeah, just imagine if they, half-assedly done it the same.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't get Mario games.
Oh,
You have
jeez.
to put stuff. You have to put Mario on it.
You have to do all the work, but also, we just didn't even make the effort to like make it run well either.
It actually runs well by itself. All you did was just added the games you wanted, and that was it.
But yeah, so let's move on to our first big topic, the Game Awards.
Oh boy.
And while watching the Game Awards, I remembered
Sucked.
that I hate award shows. So we're going to talk about the awards next week and hopefully do like our games of the year lists, and
Why
we'll
would
have
you
that
do to
discussion
me?
next week.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we're going to talk about the best part of the Game Awards, and that's new games.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of announcements for new games, some stuff that I know Duncan was excited for, like CTR, right?
Definitely CTR and Marvel Ultimate Alliance
yeah,
3.
Ultimate Alliance 3. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I was heavily surprised that I
actually one
thought
of
that
those people that-
franchise kind of died.
I did too.
It was the last one was on the 360, right?
Yeah.
The first Marvel Ultimate Alliance is amazing.
Yes.
I absolutely love that game. I think the second one dropped the ball just a little bit because they were trying to do the team up attacks things, which was a cool idea in concept, but just didn't pan out.
Didn't matter if you unlocked Iron Man, though.
So, I mean, seeing that come back, I'm a huge fan of comic books and Marvel specifically. So, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, I'm super excited for.
I'm actually not really that big into it because I never got into it in the first place.
Well, we're going to have to teach you. So, besides Crash Team Racing, there's also the announcement that Stanley Parable is getting a re-release, which is a really cool...
Choose your own adventure game.
It's kind of a choose your own adventure game. It's an exploration on narrative in video games, and there's always a narrator speaking in your ear.
And his name is Stanley Parable.
His name is Parable. So as Stanley is the name of the main character, it's a parable about him. But like as you're going down, you get to a hallway, and the hallway has 2 doors, and the narrator goes, and Stanley takes the door on the left. And it's entirely up to you as a player whether you're going to follow the narrator's instructions or whether you're going to go right. And so it has this really self-aware sense of humor, but it's really interesting. And the fact that it's coming out on consoles now, which was the big thing that the remaster was bringing up, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys haven't played it, definitely pick it up.
Yep.
There was also a new game from Supergiant Games, which is Hades, which is a dungeon crawler roguelike game set in Greek mythology where you play the son of Hades, and you're trying to climb out of the underworld, which is sick.
That does have a very, very nice concept to it as well.
The art is really, really nice. I'm really excited. I'm thinking about picking it up because it's currently in early access for like $20. So I'm thinking about getting into it. I don't know because I'm a little hesitant with like early access games, but Supergiant is Supergiant tends to be pretty good with most of their stuff. So
I don't really purchase a lot of early access titles myself, but there is probably only 2 that I have purchased in my entire life that hasn't let me down, to be perfectly honest. What they are, you probably never even heard of them. I know one of them off the top of my head is Crosscode.
okay, yeah, definitely never heard of it.
It's a really good game. If you haven't heard of it at all, please check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed. The other one, the name escapes me at the moment, so I'll have to get back to you another time.
Yeah, but like I'm hesitant with early access games, but there was also Ashen, which looks pretty neat. It's like super artistic. That's the one with like the fox,
cool.
right?
Oh, my favorite YouTuber.
It's Journey if you could actually do things.
A big one that a lot of people were really excited for was Outer Worlds, which is the new game by Obsidian. So the people responsible for Fallout New Vegas, and you can definitely see that in the trailer for Outer Worlds. There's a lot of Knights of the Old Republic feel to it too, because you've got a party, and the party's got like HP and MP bars, and they're up in the corner, and you track your party, and it's not necessarily an open world game, but it's still an adventure, and your character stats matter. From what they've said so far about the game, if you have a really low intelligence stat, all of your dialogue options are just like primal grunting. So, that's really cool, the way that like your stats impact the way you interact with the world, which is something that I love about old Fallout games.
I'm sorry.
Fallout 4. That's
It's okay. They'll get better, I hope.
I hope maybe it's like fine wine. It just gets better with time. Maybe.
Buy it today with your Xbox One.
Ouch.
And then one of the last things that we can talk about for the Game Awards that was announced. This is something I know I'm pretty excited for because I love myself a 3D platformer, and that's Psychonauts 2, which was officially confirmed as being a thing that Double Fine is finally doing.
That's another game that I thought was like done,
Dead.
like Marvel Alliance, but apparently this is the year of reviving
It's
old
a cult
games.
game. It's a cult classic, you know.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people love the heck out of it.
You know what else is also a cult game that I wish would come back, but this is just wishful thinking? Mega Man Legends 3.
Well, at least we have 11.
This is true.
There was that Red Ash.
We don't talk about that. Why would you
really-
even bring that up?
Is that really, you know, a
I'm pretty
Is
sure.
that a consolation prize?
No.
a game that we're pretty sure is probably
Never
not going to
gonna
actually
come out.
happen?
My consolation prize I got from Javin for coming in 4th place in that one Mario Kart tournament is better than that.
Hey.
The Lucario amiibo.
Lucario Amiibo is awesome.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I got that's a better
That's a consolation prize,
It's
right?
an
That's
amiibo.
good.
An amiibo is better than getting Red Ash. That's funny.
That's just,
Well,
'cause,
yeah.
like, there's not really. What other games are kind of in that style? There's not a whole lot, right?
There isn't a whole lot now.
So-
Well, wasn't Legends sort of kind of modeled after Legend of Zelda?
Yes and no. It's very explorer heavy,
Mhm.
but it also has sort of a Metroidvania feel
Yeah.
to it, where you also construct your own tools to make the journey a lot easier for you.
Yeah, it's just like a third-person Metroid Prime, right?
Yeah.
It's
That's
weird.
like the best way to put it, honestly.
So there's not a lot of things that are in that category. So
No.
it's-
It's kind of sad that Metroid Prime 4 wasn't even mentioned.
yeah, there was rumors
Yeah.
going around that they were going to announce a Metroid Prime 3, not Metroid Prime 3,
Four.
Metroid
Yeah.
Prime Trilogy Remaster on the Switch.
Was that a
which
thing?
didn't happen. That was just something, like, I thought that it held weight because I saw it in the same list as I saw Crash Team Racing, and then
Aw.
through the whole Game Awards I didn't see it.
I would have loved to have that happen, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what are you gonna do? I did turn off the Game Awards early, mostly because, we were getting close to the end of it, and I was like, I gotta go to bed, right?
There was one
And
more.
it kind of sucked.
It
There
kinda
was
sucked.
one more thing though that was a highlight of those awards.
I know. I know exactly what you're gonna talk about.
And this happened when I was in the middle of getting
Yeah.
a certain game.
So let me just frame you. Let me frame you this picture that I was setting up.
Okay.
So I watched like 2.5 hours of the Game Awards, and I'm like, I have work tomorrow. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna buy Smash tomorrow. I'm done with this. So I turn off the Game Awards. I start getting ready for bed, and I get a text from you, and a text from you that says, Joker is in Smash. Persona 5 X Smash confirmed. And I'm like, both y'all are f***ing with me. This isn't real.
Who he was referring to is Too Elusive and Helios.
Yeah, the two of them text me right a minute after I turned off the Game Awards. And so, I mean, I didn't go back to the Game Awards because, ha! But instead, I just, I looked up the video on the Nintendo of America official Twitter account. And I watched the video there, and
You didn't see it coming.
I did not see it.
So here's a funny story regarding that. When we were watching the Game Awards on the big TV in the GameStop, because my GameStop was playing it, we saw the trailer where Joker's doing his thing in the animation, and one of my friends was like, it would be funny if Joker appeared in Smash. That would be really amazing. And I said to him in response, hey, if he actually ended up in Smash, then I'll lose my mind right here in the middle of the store. Long before that actually happened.
and then the
envelope flipped over.
invitational card turned over, and you see the Smash logo.
And I had to fight tooth and nail not to yell at the top of my lungs.
So yeah, if you can't tell, the second topic that we're going to talk about today is Smash Brothers. How do you guys feel about Joker in Smash? I know that I'm going to go buy the season pass now.
I want to know how his moveset's going to play out.
How are they going to translate Persona into... I want to know what his final Smash is going to be.
Yeah. I imagine
Please let me stop to know.
if anything, I could imagine that maybe the way his moveset's going to work is that he'll have, his basic regular moves, but then when he uses his specials, that's when his Persona will come out and do its thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel would be a really, really nice thing to see.
As long as he's able to utilize both close range combat, gunplay, because it did have that a little bit.
Yeah, he does have a gun.
He has a
and
gun.
Persona play. As long as they can nail those three aspects, that's literally all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
for his final Smash, I'm going to say spoiler alert because, Persona 5 did come out almost 2 years ago, so if you haven't played it,
I would still say a spoiler alert
go play it.
No.
But, so yeah, stop listening if you haven't played Persona 5 because I'm
Spoiler
spoiler.
alert. Sonic Forces suck.
Another
True
topic.
story.
Another
So,
topic.
his final Smash is either going to be an all-out attack or just Sataniel Fooly Cooly style, throw their enemy into the barrel of the gun and pull the trigger. If his final Smash is Sataniel, that's going to be so cool. But, who knows?
I also
knows?
hope that they put a lot of music from his game in there as well and give him his own exclusive stage.
Yeah,
Don't-
most of the DLC characters get their own exclusive stage anyway. At least they did in 4.
I'm just hoping that Atlas would not be stingy with the music selection like a certain Final Fantasy character.
Yeah, by the way, in Smash Ultimate, he still only has 2 songs like in Smash 4.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Cloud.
Yeah, Final
Yeah,
Fantasy 7 still only has... The stage only has 2 songs still.
it does. Sadly.
The battle theme and the boss theme.
Yep. Wow.
Hashtag the pillows for Smash.
Whereas when you got my boy Simon and Richter who have their whole track listed up there,
Freaking 26 songs.
and then you got Ryu and Ken who have all
also
of
like
their...
32 songs.
Pretty much have
They
like
have
the
all of
entirety.
They have all of the characters from Street Fighter 2, just all of their character themes. The Guile's theme.
The new remix is really good.
Yeah, the remix on all of the songs is really good. The Gangplank Galleon remix for King K.
Friendster
Rool.
Deaths.
Ooh.
The remix of that one.
Metal Man stage.
What was it? What was that one song from Castlevania that plays in the alchemy area? Of
Dancing
something-
Portrait or something like that?
Something to do with gold.
I don't remember.
I don't remember it either.
And of course, Bloody Tears.
Oh, of course.
Mhm.
So
Wouldn't be Castlevania without.
yeah. So on the topic of Smash 4, we have all played it. At least a little bit.
Did you say 4 or 5? You just said 4.
I said
just now.
4. I meant Smash Ultimate. You know what I meant. I
I can
What?
do this.
It's just a port of 4.
It is just a port of 4.
Hush.
But people are actually looking more forward to this one.
Yeah. Well, it's not on a console that's dying, so there's
that probably helps.
Look, the
The
fact that
Vita?
the Switch sold out the Wii U in a month really tells you how bad that system really is.
Yeah, which is sad. I
Well,
liked my
the
Wii U.
thing about the Wii, well, then again, that's another discussion, but it's not so much the problem with the Wii U itself. It's just how Nintendo handled things for it is what really
Oh yeah.
bit them.
Oh yeah.
Bit
you
them
know.
in the behind. But yeah, so I want to get everybody's first impressions on the game. The changes to the physics engine, you know, how do you, because I know in Smash 4 unlocking characters was a little different. Smash Ultimate, it's kind of a grind. I know that a lot of people were complaining about character unlocks in Smash 4, and then they were just like, you know what? Screw you guys. You get 5 characters. Everything else you got to work for.
I can understand those complaints, because here was my issue with Smash 4 that I'm glad they fixed in Ultimate. In 4, you literally had nothing else to do outside of the competitive game itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't like competitive play in Smash, period, you're not going to like 4. Like, Melee gave you extra content.
Mm-hmm.
Brawl gave you extra content. 4 gave you nothing. And you only had like 5 characters to unlock. Whereas this game pounds on a lot of extra content. And they also gave you the ability to unlock those characters manually, which is how it should have been in the beginning.
Yeah, I want to talk about the story mode a little bit later. But,
Oh yeah, of course.
But like, how is your like first impressions of the game? Like coming straight from Smash 4 right into Ultimate.
So first off, I'm happy that all the characters are actually good. I've went ahead and played every single character, and all of them feel
And he has.
like they're viable. Like no character really feels like they're actual trash.
Notably, this game came out 2 days ago, so you've been putting in work.
Oh, I have a whole notepad in my room that has like all the data that I've been writing down for the characters I mostly want to play as in a tournament setting. But aside from that, I love the fact that the game is definitely faster.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a really good job with fixing the engine, the physics engine, with Smash 4 in this game. Because with Smash 4, it was like a weird hybrid between Brawl and Melee, which didn't really work too well. With this one, they incorporated more Melee engine with this, with a little bit of Smash 4, and it works out beautifully.
Yeah.
So I gotta give them heavy props for that. Plus, the attention to detail is something I greatly appreciate. I'm talking about with the little sprite animations Game & Watch goes into, to the animations of the PK moves that the Earthbound characters use, because they look like actual PK moves.
Yeah, when Donkey Kong gets hit, his eyes bulge out of his head. That's hilarious.
Or when he gets a fully charged punch, he actually
He's
looks
just angry.
really
He's just like
angry.
stomping around the stage, like Mom didn't give me the cookies.
Yeah, he walks around like that the whole time. Like
Also,
I
the
love
fact
it.
that when Olimar gets hit, his helmet cracks when he's about to
Oh,
die.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the higher the percentage, the more damage his helmet is.
Yeah.
Like that's a really neat touch.
Or just Isabelle being the best character.
Isabella's S tier. No. Don't look at me like that. You know it's true. Isabella's gonna be above Bayonetta.
I don't know.
Actually, everyone's gonna be above Bayonetta. She got nerfed to the ground.
She's like the only character that got heavy nerfs.
Yeah, she is the
Which-
only character that got heavy.
I mean,
nerfs.
let's be fair here. Even after her nerfs in Smash 4, she's still topped all of the tier charts.
You want to know who got a buff? Who didn't need a buff?
Lil
Diddy.
Mac.
Actually, I was gonna say Diddy Kong.
Yeah, I'm Diddy Kong. Yeah, Diddy got nerfed in the last one, and he dropped. Diddy and Meta Knight dropped to the bottom of the tier list as soon as the tier list came out.
They didn't get dropped to the bottom. Diddy was still really good even
Really?
after his. Oh yeah, he was
thought
still
I
really
thought he
good
dropped
even
pretty
after his
low.
nerfs. He didn't get dropped low at all.
I don't stick too close to competitive. I haven't stick close to the competitive Smash in the past, though.
But yeah, they did buff Diddy for some reason. They made his recovery worse, but they still buffed him.
Balance, I guess.
I don't know.
What about you guys? How's your first impressions on the game?
It feels like I haven't played Smash in years, and I've been getting my butt kicked more times than I can remember. Especially when unlocking characters. I hate you, DDD.
Oh
Yeah.
Four times.
They did make the AI a lot stronger in this, which I
And I hate
actually do,
Palutena for that reason.
which I actually do appreciate, because now you can legit practice against the AI and not be completely neutered because the AI doesn't have a dumb, like, intelligence system when you're fighting them.
Yeah.
They do try things that you would expect other players to do.
Yeah, and it's not the AI itself doesn't necessarily learn. Like it was kind of rumored in Smash 4 that the AI learns from what you do.
That was the amiibos who did. Yeah, not the amiibos did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, people were saying that the CPUs, the actual CPUs, no amiibos, no nothing, were the ones that would learn from your tendencies. Whereas this AI doesn't learn; it just knows what it's doing.
Yeah, it just knows what it's doing.
Unless it's a Zero Suit Samus.
Well,
I
Zero
did have
Suit
Zero Suit
Samus.
Samus downbeat herself off the edge.
Well,
Yeah.
Zero Suit Samus on her own stage. She for some reason and I with all the people I've spoke with who unlocked her, she tends to kill herself on her own map.
Well, because it's the one oh shoot, what's the name of that map? The one that she appears on when she appears as a challenger.
Yeah, it's Brinster.
Yeah, Brinstar. That's what I thought. But like the centerpiece where all the
little cluster
the little
thingies
clusters are. I've had her down B and launched straight through those.
For me, she just drop kicked and went through every one of those
Yeah.
clusters
Yep,
and
yep,
just
yep.
died.
Yep, exactly.
Like, feels like I'm doing nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Well, you better take a level 9 Luigi CPU to that level. He's gonna do great.
Well, let's see. I guess to piggyback off of what these two are saying, it felt like I'm going into Gen 7 of Pokemon after coming from Gen 6.
Yeah, Gen 6.
Can I get a little context from
Gen
that?
6 was easy as hell.
And not to mention just really unfulfilling.
Ah.
That was-
I felt
X and
like
Y
I was
and
punching
Oras.
kids in the face, and I'm just like,
What-
"Yep, I'm doing
Yeah,
it, guys."
What region was 6 again?
Kalos.
Kalos.
X and Y.
And then we also
right.
and then we also had Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Which was
Ugh.
even worse.
Not good.
And it's like
Don't
and then you go into Sun and Moon and it's like
Sun and
oh yeah,
Moon
this actually
amps
feels like
up the
fun.
difficulty a little bit.
I'm enjoying myself again.
It's like going into a new Pokemon game.
Yeah, I feel
As
it.
it should be.
I 100% feel that.
And then Ultra Sun and Moon was like, hey, let's do the same thing again.
But better.
Debatably.
Debatably. I
But
think
that's another discussion.
yeah, that's a different discussion. I got it. I could go all day about talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon. What are your guys' ideas on the story mode?
The story mode is hard. I'm just gonna
Yes.
come out and
Oh,
say
yeah.
it'll whoop your ass.
I actually have not tried the story mode because the first time I was able to put the game in and play it, I spent the first maybe 3 or 4 hours just listening to the soundtrack.
I don't blame you. The soundtrack's beautiful.
Let's see. I guess it would spoil Avengers Endgame because Kirby obviously defeats Thanos. But yeah, it's. I want to see where it goes, but I want to make sure I unlock every character first and get used to them, because oh my goodness, it's actually pretty hard.
Yeah.
Look, I learned that lesson when I came to this one part in the story where you had to fight what is considered to be Rayman's spirit when you're actually fighting Sonic. But he has this assist trophy from an old robot game that came out on, what was it, the Super Famicom, you said, Andy? Where that assist trophy is from?
I think that was the original Famicom.
Yeah. So, bottom line, you're fighting Sonic while this Walmart Rayman is constantly attacking you, and it'll respawn every time you kill it.
I've
or
been
it
having
falls
trouble
off.
with the stage where you have to fight Lucina and Shulk at the same time, and you're constantly getting your defense lowered every couple seconds.
Ooh.
Yes. And at that point, the only characters I have unlocked is Mario, Link, and Kirby.
So I think you went the wait. You should have had at least Sheik.
Oh,
or...
and Villager. No, I went to the when you get to the first and you have to fight one of 3.
Yeah, which way did
I
you
went
go?
to the right
You went to the right.
because the right gives you Villager.
I went to the left.
Oh.
I went for Marth.
Joy Mech Fight,
Yeah, Joy Mech Fight. That's the one.
Okay.
which I'm surprised even got a reference at all, considering how obscure that game is.
And there was another event that I came across that was also just as hard. The name of that event. Oh yeah, now I remember. It's when you have to defeat Peach, but she's constantly running away from you. Meanwhile, you've got Dr. Mario and DK. No, I'm sorry, regular Mario and DK chasing after you. And they're like extra aggressive. And also, you're fighting them on that 8-bit version of Donkey Kong stage.
8-bit version of Donkey Kong.
From
arcade.
Donkey Kong.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
from Donkey-
72M. Or
Yeah.
72 or 75M.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
75M.
You're fighting them on that, and
Ah.
it's awful. Oh, and on top of that, it's timed, and the timer is very short.
How much time does it give you?
I think about 2 to 3 minutes, which go by very fast,
Yeah.
considering how hard the AI
Yep.
really is.
And I mean, the only achievement I have right now in the story mode is I have a level 99 Tron Bun.
Why do you have a level 99
I
Tron
don't know. I had her and I was just like, I want her to be level 99.
But that brings up another point that I have.
Because
to...
that's how much the disc of that game cost.
Probably.
Ouch. But that does bring up another point that I do need to make. I do love how the event matches, because that's basically what the story mode is. It's event matches. They all have a certain theme to them. Like, there was one that I came across that really hit me right in the soul. Is when I encountered Roll Casket. I don't remember which female character she was taking control over, but that character was also fighting alongside Diddy Kong, and I instantly realized what they were going for. That Diddy Kong was supposed to be Data from Legends, and they're fighting on Fox's ship,
Wow.
which is a flutter.
Oh my gosh.
Which is another thing that I really liked. I actually spammed a lot of classic mode in this game. And the classic mode is still the same thing where you have to fight a series of fighters. Towards the end, you go through a special obstacle course, and then you fight a final boss. The only difference is that, unlike classic mode from other games, your final boss isn't always going to be Master Hand or a variation
Or
of that.
Crazy.
Or Crazy Hand, or even both sometimes. They actually switched it up a bit. Like, for example, with Marth's classic mode, you have to. His theme is you have to fight Dragonic characters. So you fight Charizard, Ridley, both versions of Corrin. And his last boss fight is I forget what the dragon's name is from Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
That's his final boss fight where you actually, and like it has an HP bar and you have to destroy them all. And another funny one, and this one's one that that Rika mentioned to me. I haven't unlocked him yet. It's the Baby Bowser one where he literally goes through a series of matches facing off against, I guess you can call them like pseudo couples, because he's trying to find a mother for himself. So you'll fight like Link and Zelda, Mario and Peach, stuff like that, and I forget what his final boss is, unfortunately.
I also like how Simon and Richter, they don't fight like a variation of Master Hand. You actually get Dracula, who, oh my god,
Yeah.
is actually pretty dang tough.
Alright, you know who else gets Dracula? And by the way, I also love his theme. Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi also gets Dracula.
Luigi's theme is that he has to fight basically characters that take their creepiest form or
Spooky
have
characters.
a creepy appearance, and his final boss is Dracula.
His theme is spooky.
Also,
Dun 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 dun.
Also, two other ones that I have to mention is definitely Shulk's and Sonic's. With Shulk's, it's a reference to all his Monado arts. So his first opponent's Falco, jump. Sonic, speed. Cloud, buster. Smash is Mac.
Yeah.
And for Sonic, it's a reference to all of his video games. There's one in particular where he fights 3 Kirbys. One of them is yellow, the other's blue, and another is red. And that's supposed to be Sonic Heroes.
Oh my god.
And it has Sonic Heroes theme
you're
playing in the
fighting the
background.
stage and you're hearing Sonic Heroes.
That's
music.
amazing. I have to go through and actually grind in the classic
I
mode.
think-
But that's awesome.
But that's the great thing, is that classic mode, unlike other Smash games where you're doing the same thing, usually you're doing the same thing over and over again. This time it's always different, and it's
Yep.
unique
Yeah.
to every character.
Yep.
I think my favorite has to be, I didn't try this out with Kenya, but with Ryu, you get it like, a Street Fighter game.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the stages have soundtracks, songs from Street Fighter 2, and I think each of the characters that got paired with their music kind of fits perfectly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
like a Balrog stage or boxer if you're going by tournament terms.
He's Little Mac.
Little Mac, yeah.
And dictator stage is both crazy hands.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
you get to fight with Ken.
Oh, nice.
Well,
That's a really nice touch.
or Claw. Well, Meta Knight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of mask theme.
The mask. It's all on the mask.
And if you understand the references I made to competitive Street Fighter, no prize. But props to you.
But yeah, I just really like classic mode for that.
Yeah,
That's
I
one
have
of
to
my
actually.
favorite modes
I'm
for
still working on unlocking the characters, but once I do, I'm gonna grind some classic mode and see how that works.
I'm
out.
almost done.
Also,
Good.
on my channel, I will be uploading run-throughs of classic mode as every character, so you'll get to see what they're all like. Yeah.
Shameless self-promoting on my.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. I guess the last thing we're gonna talk about is gonna tie into the first thing we talked about,
Which was
DLC. So we do know that Persona's Akira Kurusu, I will be dead before I call him Ren, Joker, is going to be added to the game as the technically first, technically second DLC character. Him and Piranha Plant.
Yeah.
I still can't wait to play Piranha Plant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He looks pretty jank.
I want to run through classic mode with him just because I want to see what his theme is
He's
going to be.
probably gonna fight like different variants of like
Just
Mario
plants.
characters or something like, or it could be
Like
plants.
plants, like just Venusaur or Ivysaur over and over again.
Yeah, or something like that.
So basically,
Yo,
Snake,
real quick.
Bayonetta, and Joker are all from Rated M games.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are all have at least one game or franchises on Nintendo consoles.
Yep.
So I guess our only restriction at this point is something that's on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, that's
So,
basically the requirement.
Um,
It just has to be on Nintendo.
Yeah, before we move on, real quick, I just want to say thank you, Relax, whose YouTube channel I watch pretty regularly. He does a lot of Nintendo content. He is started to call himself the Smash Prophet because for the past year or so, he's been making jokes about how Joker is going to be playable in Persona, and it happened out of nowhere. So, props to you for getting it right somehow. But yeah, what are your guys' hopes for DLC? I know that we talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah, but
like,
now that happened,
now that it's blown wide open, there's no restrictions anymore, right?
I know three right off the bat that I definitely want in there.
Hit me.
Okay, so you've got my girl Shantae,
Okay.
then you have Lloyd Irving from Symphonia,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Swords. I share the sword.
Yeah.
I want sword now too. As far as besides that one, I actually wouldn't mind like
Goku. Son
I mean,
Goku.
Technically,
At this
he
point-
wasn't a Nintendo
Yeah, I
game,
mean,
so
He's been in several.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was the Legacy of Goku games on the Game Boy, right?
There's
And-
also one where you're playing as Kid Goku throughout the whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
Dragon
the-
Power.
Yeah.
On both the
On the
Wii
NES.
and
And
on the
we're not
Game
gonna-
Boy as well.
And that's not including the import exclusive stuff. That was on
and
the
Dragon
Famicom.
Ball Fighter Z had a
Yeah.
Switch port
Yes.
just recently.
and Dragon Ball Z. I think it's called Fusion Reborn or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
Yeah,
Fusion.
Yeah.
No,
Reborn.
Fusions. It's
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
called
Dragon Ball
Fusions.
Fusions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, I made a joke about Goku, but who knows? Maybe he's next.
Hey, that also means by that logic, Luffy can get in as well from One Piece. Let's see Luffy, everybody. Let's see some Luffy.
Wait, more importantly, I'm pretty sure that My Hero One's Justice had a Switch port.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
So that means
Deku for Smash!
Deku, Bakugo, All Might.
I want Deku for Smash. I want Deku, and then his final Smash actually puts him at 300% after he uses it.
Oh my god.
Like, it doesn't matter what percent you're at, you move forward and you hit whoever's in front of you, and they get instantly KO'd, and then you're at 300%.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, so I mean, that's...
Oh, here I can make you happy with this one. Phoenix Stella had a Switch port.
Fate Extella did have a Switch port, which means Saber from Fate Stay Night is technically available.
There's also
in the
quote,
pool. I know, quote from Cave Stories.
because Cave Story has had both a 3DS, a Wii, and a Switch
Yep.
game.
Yep.
across those consoles.
Physical release on the Switch, so
And physical on 3DS
yeah,
too.
the 3DS, Cave Story 3D, which
Yep.
is schmeh.
I know you don't want to acknowledge that, but
Cave Story Plus, which is a good one, was on 3DS, Wii, and Switch. So, Quote is also a viable option.
mm-hmm.
Before Smash Ultimate, the only character, like besides Jason from Blaster Master, which I know will never happen, but I would love it if it did. The only character I wanted in Smash was Daisy, who's there now.
Now she's there.
So
I'm looking at her right now.
Yeah, she's right there. I'm out of ideas, right? Right?
Yeah.
If somebody,
Well, one time where it's like, man, now I don't know who else
That's
to
it.
pick
Have to
now.
think now.
All my dream matches are there.
there's
What
all,
do I
and,
need?
I mean,
But-
there's all the characters from the fake leaks. There's that I don't think will ever be in Smash, but it's a possibility because you've got Gino, Isaac from Golden Sun.
Well, Isaac is now a trophy.
yeah, and Shadow. So is Shadow.
So
Shadow's
they're
a trophy.
deconfirmed. you
Yeah,
know.
Waluigi. they're-
Rayman?
Hey, maybe they can mod a character.
Proto Man.
Proto Man could be a thing.
He could
Or
be an echo
X.
character.
X
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not
Considering
a trophy.
considering that X's theme is also in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a. Ooh. That's a Mega Man echo. You know who I'd love to see? Roll.
Echo Fighters.
Roll from Mega Man Powered Up.
Actually, I was thinking
want
from
the
Marvel.
Oh, no,
I want from the
Oh,
cro-
no,
Yeah.
yeah, I want it from the cross game where she has the broom.
Tatsunoko versus
Yeah,
Capcom.
that
Yeah,
one.
Tatsunoko. Well, yeah, that's the same
Yeah,
reference.
yeah.
It's,
So,
it's also
so she
the
just
same
got the
role.
broom and she just like sweeps everything.
Complete with her Animu song.
Yes. No, I just
Dude,
want her.
everyone from Tatsunoko can be in there because that was a Wii game.
I want her announcement video to just say "Roll sweeps up the competition."
There's also some notable ones such as Beautiful Joe from Beautiful Joe
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and G Red
Henderson
from
and Go-Go,
Gotcha
baby.
Force.
Travis Touchdown.
That's another one too.
Yeah.
I want Goku, but I want Goku specifically from Dragon Power, the really crappy NES game.
I want my sandwich.
And then he collects the
boy.
crystal balls.
Oh, you mean that his
Get Turtle Hermit his
health?
sandwiches.
Oh, you mean that his health keeps going up?
His health is the timer.
Yeah.
That's so
He
weird.
just dies
Oh, it's
when it goes
terrible.
out.
Don't play it.
It's one of the.
Time.
I'm not.
It's so bad. I love it so
Yeah.
much. I own it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's weird to think to possibly be out of ideas of what to add.
Honestly,
I mean, it would be nice if Rayman actually got in here.
I want Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim is actually never on a.
I was gonna.
He
do that.
never was.
I'm actually thinking about it too. I'm like,
Scott Pilgrim, the game
But
was
he makes
on.
references to Nintendo.
He does make
He,
references.
he
to
has a
Nintendo.
higher chance of being in PlayStation All-Star. Oh, wait a minute.
You take that back.
2B.
2B.
She wasn't on a
No,
Nintendo
she hasn't
game,
been on
though.
Oh,
a
yeah.
Nintendo console.
She may have appeared in Soul Calibur, but she ain't appearing here.
Oh,
that
man.
probably doesn't help is the fact that she's already a guest character in some other fighting game.
Which is Soul Calibur in this case.
Mm. I figured.
Yeah, we're sure as hell not going to
see,
get that for the
see,
Switch
one
at
of
all.
the
No.
I think one of the other rules is that like they can't if a guest character already appeared in another fighting game, then chances are they're not going to show
Oh,
up in
man.
Smash.
We can't have Yoda
We can't have Yoda,
Darth
or
Vader.
Darth Vader,
or Link.
Negan from Walking Dead. Wait a minute.
Or the
Negan.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did
Jeez.
appear in another game.
Injustice.
Yeah, Injustice.
Yeah. Also, we can't have Battletoads. They already appeared in Killer Instinct.
But
Yeah.
Well, wasn't
But
Killer
the games
Instinct?
kind of suck.
Killer Instinct was just the It was just Rare's fighter.
Yeah.
It's a fighter
Honestly-
made by Rare.
Honestly, the only thing that's holding back any Rare character is just Rare itself.
It was the fact that they're owned by Nintendo and or
Microsoft.
by Microsoft,
Yeah.
and that's why we're not going to get them in a Nintendo game.
Yeah, because
Rip
it's
Banjo
Microsoft.
Kazooie.
Banjo Kazooie and
Yep.
Conquer.
You've got Microsoft to thank for that, folks.
Yuka
Banjo
and Lele.
Kazooie would fit so well.
See, the fact that
Wait, is there a Rayman spirit?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
there is.
Darn
But
it!
that doesn't
But that
deconfirm the
doesn't necessarily
character.
confirm Rayman.
Because remember, the regular characters in this cast are spirits too that you unlock,
Okay,
so it doesn't deconfirm.
because
so he still might have a shot.
I would be okay. I would be 100% okay with Rayman.
You just gotta ask Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Good luck with Ubisoft.
Well, no, because we have Mario Rabbids was
This is
one
That's
not
true,
a
so,
launch
like,
title,
it's-
but in the first period of time when the Switch released, Mario Rabbids was one of the first games that came out for it,
and
that was really good.
That
You know
game
what?
had no business
That
being
game
good.
You know what?
did not have the right to be good.
And you
and
know
yet
what?
It's apparently decent.
You know what, from our discussion from last time about games that surprised you, that was actually a game that surprised me because I had very low expectations for that game. And when I actually got it, I was like, wow, this is actually fun.
Yeah,
Like, this had no, as you said, no business of being good.
it really didn't. But
And
it
it's
is.
actually very addicting.
That's really funny, but like Rayman, he could do it.
Yeah, this is a very huge possibility.
You know, I'd also would like to see Zoroark in here too as a playable character. Is he like still a Pokeball character you can
I
obtain?
did not see
Because I didn't
Zoroark.
see him in the
haven't-
Pokeball roster.
I actually don't even think. No, wait. Yes, he is in Smash 4.
Yeah,
He's in Smash 4 as
I
a
have
Pokeball.
not seen him in Smash 5.
Foreshadowing.
You know what?
I get
You know what
it.
I'm gonna have to do? I'm
I'm
gonna have to like put items on nothing but Pokeballs and just see if he
And just
ever
spin
shows
Also,
up.
technically,
We could do
you can
Poke battles.
argue SNK or most of the King of Fighters characters, since Capcom versus SNK2 did come out for the GameCube.
Ooh,
Yes, it did.
King or Terry Bogard.
Oh, we could also get we're
Or
missing
Geese Howard.
we're missing
Yeah.
a big one because Snake's in the game. We could get Raiden from
Two.
MGS2, yeah.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, a thing. I would much prefer Raiden for Revengeance, which is a real word. I've heard of it. But Raiden from MGS4 / Revengeance is way cooler than whiny baby Raiden who falls over sometimes.
Especially when you try to roll on stairs.
Yeah, if you try to flip upstairs, he just falls on his butt.
Also, this is going to sound mega ridiculous when I say this, but by that, if you have to be on a Nintendo system to count. By that logic, all the characters from Project Cross Zone count too.
This is true. they Project Cross Zone was
So
a 3DS
that means
title.
the dot hat characters, Strider, Ryu,
Chris
Hayabusa.
Redfield.
Yeah, Chris Redfield.
Chris Redfield along with Leon.
Oh,
and...
dude, Leon S. Kennedy
No,
for
Leon
Smash.
Resident Evil 4 GameCube. Bam.
Yeah.
The
Leon
God
S.
Eater.
Kennedy for Smash.
The God Eater characters.
Oh, dude, I would kill to play as what's the one
Soma?
character? Yeah, Soma. I would kill to play as Soma.
Ah, man. See what you did, Nintendo, with your rule set?
Yeah, now there's like so many options. It's just like
Oh,
crazy.
we went from like having no options to having options, but
So,
we
like-
still had to think about it.
But
though.
the thing with Joker from Persona 5 is he's like the biggest stretch possible to fit within those guidelines.
Yeah.
No, see,
Because
that's-
if the only guideline for this is appeared on a Nintendo console,
Yeah, they
then
even said it for the ballot.
Yeah.
They have to appear on the
Joker
Nintendo costume.
costume. He has PQ2, which came out in Japan in November.
Yeah, not long ago.
See,
that's what I
But the thing
noticed.
is that Sakurai, I only just found this out, but apparently Sakurai thinks that Persona 5 is quote perfection.
Wow.
And he's done nothing but praise the game since it's come out. So like the fact that he's in Smash after knowing that fact, like maybe not a big surprise. But the other tangential line you could draw from Persona to like for Joker to Nintendo is that he's a Persona character, and Persona has plenty of games on Nintendo consoles because there's the PQ2, PQ1, the original Shin Megami games, which is tangentially related,
Oh yeah,
and
the
most
Shin Megami
recently,
games have Shin Megami Tensei 4 I know has a 3DS release.
yeah, there's a bunch of 3DS ones, but the most recently is Blaze Blue Cross Tag, which has a huge cast of P4AU characters on it.
But now that you just mentioned that also opens up for Blaze Blue as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, doesn't
absolutely.
Blaze Blue have a Switch game?
Actually,
Blaze
the
Blue
Blaze
Cross
Blue has a
Tag.
couple
Yeah.
of 3DS games too.
Yeah.
Because there was a Blaze Blue game that appeared on the 3DS.
Mhm.
There's also 2 spin-off titles that appear on the 3DS as well.
Okay, Noel for Smash, Jin Kisaragi as an assist trophy. Oh yeah, Andy has the
And yeah, there's
Switch
Cross
copy
Tag's
of Cross Tag.
port. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the
Ruby characters for some.
Oh, okay. Let's not get too carried away. Look, as long as it ain't
Oh.
Blake.
The This is also on a Nintendo console.
Undertale? Oh yeah, Sans Undertale is a
Oh,
Sans
viable-
Undertale is more likely.
Oh my goodness.
Don't let your memes be dreams.
That's going like, hey, it's me from the future.
just Sans being like, hey kid, you look familiar. Like, okay.
Oh, I can't. It's like I can't help but to feel like you're familiar. He touches Ness, but I can't put my finger on it.
He would say something like that.
I just want Papyrus to be there and his final smash just be something like ridiculously animated and then does like 1% damage and no launch to everybody.
Rip.
And then he just like stomps on the ground. That's the whole.
And then
Rip.
jumps off the stage.
See, this is why I'm not a game designer because I have like stupid ideas like this. I think that kind of wraps up our discussion. Though we hit everything that we wanted to talk about, and more. Yeah,
We did.
plenty. So that's gonna be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know what you think by following me on Twitter or Andy on YouTube or Duncan on YouTube or thinking nice thoughts about Josh.
Yeah.
Who has yet to have a channel, but we'll help him out eventually.
One day.
So yeah, thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll be back next week where we punch the wall really hard. No, I don't know. I ran out of ideas.
I'm like-
I ran out of ideas last week. We killed Josh. Alright, bye everybody.
Peace out. Smash.
Makes sense. It doesn't make sense not to.
Besides, look at it.
Bye, Duncan.
Harrison, that's who.
Does anyone else like to call my house? We're recording.
No. When your friend moves his car, put the other trash can out.
All right.
As I was saying.
So, Stanley Parable.
Yeah,
Stanley Parable, yeah.